Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, let's discuss the latest news on the Ukrainian offensive. We have three narratives here. The first is the Russian narrative, which states the Ukrainian offensive started on Sunday. It went Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and the Russians said, we stopped it, it's done. Dead in the water, floating downstream. So that is the Russian version. The second one, there are three of them. Second one is the Ukrainian version, which says, well, we didn't start the offensive yet, and you will not know when it starts. We're not going to let you know. And my question to that is, okay, will we be able to assess it? Or is it going to be like a massage of a wooden leg, like I do? Just kidding. Well, are we going to see it? So that's the wizard one that I expressed in these terms. If it's successful, the Ukrainian says, yes, it started 3 weeks ago. If it's not successful, it didn't start yet. That means they don't want to cop. They want to destroy their military morale and all the population, all that. I understand that one. But we have the third option, the third version here. Not scenario, it's a version actually, where there's the American version. And they say, no, the offensive started 3 days. Bling, 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 blinken. This is the Russians. And they say it started 3 days ago on Sunday. Yes. So these guys here, I think they're afraid to say, yes, it started and is not going as expected. But I have here some articles where we have the Americans saying, yes, it started and it goes just fine. And also we have the Ukrainians who say they don't talk about the offensive. They talk about a offensive in Bakhmut. They talk about Bakhmut as being, attacked on the flanks, and they got the higher positions, and they will do what they do best, win. All right, let's go to this article coming from the war zone, and this is the third option, which is the American version. This is from yesterday, June 6, 2023. Ukraine situation report. Offensive going better than expected, US says. Okay, so that's what they say here. There are indications from Biden administration that Ukraine is making progress already during its counteroffensive. Okay, we got that? All right, we got this one. So let's go maybe with this one a little bit here. Administration officials, and I'm quoting, were encouraged by better than expected progress Monday as Ukrainian units pushed through heavily mined areas to advance between 5 and 10 kilometers in some areas of the long front. Washington Post columnist David Ignatius reported Tuesday. So that's the first one. Then we go to this one. This one comes from Bloomberg, and this is the title of all this. We're in the counteroffensive. Volker on Ukraine and Russia. So, former U.S. Special Representative for Ukraine negotiations, Kurt Volker, who speaks Hungarian too, which for me is a red flag for reasons that only a few of you might understand. I'm guessing if it's more than a few, then I am surprised and happy about it. So, when an American just speaks Hungarian and he's in America, you kind of know, all right? Or if he speaks other languages like that, but usually Hungarian. But let's go back here. As I said, if you know things, you understand what I'm saying. So, Kurt Volker discusses Ukraine's spring and counteroffensive. All right, so that's per Bloomberg and Volker, we have the counteroffensive we are in. Who's we? Who's we? United States is in a counteroffensive with Ukraine. Yes, I take that. Or we are like we all are in a counteroffensive. We're not. If that would be the reality, would be Ukraine is in a counteroffensive against the Russians. If that would be how the story goes. But we are in a counteroffensive. Don't put everybody in, or you. How come you are in a counteroffensive? Or Volker. Anyway. He is saying we are like United States with all its allies and Ukraine in Ukraine are in the counteroffensive against the Russians. All right, that's the second one. We want to go to the third one, and we have this beautiful lady, Miss Maliar Hanna. Ukrinform. All right, this is from today actually. Maliar. This is Armed Forces of Ukraine's offensive. I was thinking, what the hell is that over there? African, Australian forces. Anyway, Armed Forces of Ukraine offensive in Bakhmut direction ongoing for third day. So we got this third magical day, which would be Sunday or Monday. So again, let's see what she says. The offensive of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in Bakhmut direction, not the offensive like DDD, has been ongoing for the third day. So the east remains at the, I'm quoting, epicenter of hostilities. Battles continue in several directions. The tense situation is also observed in Marinka, but Bakhmut direction still remains. Marinka is much southern than Bakhmut in Donetsk. Direction still remains at the epicenter, Bakhmut, where we have gone from defense to offense for several days. Today is a third day, and the enemy there is forced to hold its position firmly, but it does not succeed. They don't have enough strength. We destroy a lot of enemy manpower now, and we see that. Why now? What's changed? Unless this is a new thing. A new thing meaning an offensive. Now, what happened now? How come only now you can do it, but not a week ago or 2 weeks ago when Wagner Group said, yes, we liberated Bakhmut? What happened? Is this because this is the offensive? Anyway, they don't have enough strength. We destroy a lot of enemy manpower, and we see that they redeploy their reserves from the depths in order to hold a strong defense. Regarding the withdrawal of Wagner units, the deputy minister noted that the representatives of this PMC stay in some places in rear positions, while mainly the airborne forces of Russian regular army fight. Answering the question on how the enemy continues to prepare for the counteroffensive of Ukrainian troops, Maliar noted that the occupiers have prepared fortified areas, rotate their troops, but the defense forces do everything according to the plan. Alright, as reported, Ukrainian troops switched from defense to offensive in Bakhmut, only Bakhmut, over the past day. Defenders advanced from 200 to 1,100 meters in various areas. So that is 1 kilometer, or between obviously 200 yards. I'm putting it in American thing. About 200 yards to 1,000 and let's say 200 yards. That's what it would be here. So 3/4 of a mile, maybe two-thirds of a mile, and here is just 200 yards. All right, multiplied by 3, 600 feet or so. Between 600 feet and 3,400, 600 feet. Anyway, you got it. The thing is this. They're afraid to say it's an offensive unless they really do something great. If it dies like it dies, and that's it. And it's something even stupider here, and I'm going to show it to you. There's a MP who comes and says, the counteroffensive might not start until fall. What are you talking about? It's going to start snowing. What counteroffensive will that be? When you start a war, you start it in the spring, especially there. I mean, go and talk to Adolf and Napoleon and find out. But let me find that article, because I have it ready, but let's see where it's at. So here it is. I found it. It's an article that came, and I saw it on the 5th, and I referred you to this article in an article I covered in a video that I made yesterday, and it's from the New Voice of Ukraine. Ukrainian counteroffensive might not start until fall, says MP Kostenko. New Voice of Ukraine, June 5, right here. So, Kostenko said Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was telling the truth when he said that the Ukrainian armed forces were really to launch the counteroffensive. Oh, we're ready to launch, okay. And I'm quoting, if the President, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief, who that is, I don't know, says that they were ready, I don't think we are ready. I don't think he would deceive anyone and tell a lie. No, he's perfect. But I think that readiness for some active actions and that we're beginning of actions. But I think that readiness for some active actions, and the very beginning of active actions are different things. Oh, the MP said one might be ready to strike, but at the same time understand that there will be enough force and means to strike only if everything aligns on the opposite side. That's why I think they are waiting. Oh, well, we'll see if they think that it's going to start. He suggested that Ukraine's counteroffensive could take place in the fall and noted that no one can say when it will start. Well, I don't know how that would be possible to start, as I said, on the fall, in the fall, because it's just the season. You can start then and then you say, oh, we stopped because of the winter. Probably. I think all these little statements made here are to just prepare for a failure. If they don't start anything, it's going to be pushed to September. They're going to say, well, it's September, we're not going to start it now. We didn't receive weapons. The time was not right because the Russians did not allow us for the right time and right place, and we're not going to do anything. I think the counteroffensive or the offensive already started. That's my assessment. I think it's already started, but it's a big and that's why these guys are not saying anything big about it, and that's going to be it. Maybe, we're going to see another attempt. They will regroup and another attempt, and if that's going to be successful, they say that's the counteroffensive, and then there's going to be some article telling us how fantastic they are for about 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, they die like that, like they did in Bakhmut. They started saying now that they started on the flanks and they got higher positions and they attack on Bakhmut. Why Bakhmut all of a sudden? But anyway, let's say it's in Bakhmut. They do that. For 2-3 weeks, it's going to be up, Bakhmut, and then you're going to see, you're not going to hear anything about Bakhmut anymore. Why? Because they couldn't say, yes, we lost in Bakhmut and that's it. They have to keep it like alive. Yes, we're still in Bakhmut, we're still advancing. What's changed? But since I'm not there, I don't even know exactly what happened, but just what these weasels are telling us. As I said, I think it started, nothing big happened, and now they just keep the fire up a little bit. The fire up, and then it's gonna just, nothing to see here. They're gonna focus on something else, like the dam that was blown up by, I don't know. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.